Hey guys, welcome to Fit Chicks Chat, brought to you by Fit Chicks Academy, where we help women build the life, health, and career that they love through our Fit Chicks Academy programs. You can check them out at www.fitchicksacademy.com. And we actually have our fitness and nutrition expert certification program that just started today. So if you are still considering registering, if you're like, oh my gosh, what am I doing waiting for this? You need to do it now. All right, so that was my shameless plug. Now, welcome to Fit Chicks Chat, where today we are going to be talking solo. So it is me, Amanda Quinn, one of your head chicks, and one of the co-founders of Fit Chicks Academy, and I'm hanging here solo tonight because Laura, my bestie and business partner, as you know, is actually in Mexico right now getting married. I know, so exciting, and I wasn't able to go, unfortunately, so I'm here holding down the fort. And so in today's episode, I'm going to be talking to you guys about this concept of discovering odds. So you might be like, okay, but what the heck do you mean? And how does this relate to my business? And how does this relate to me? And how does this relate to anything that you're talking about at all? So a few weeks ago, I guess maybe almost like a month ago, yeah, it was like a month ago. Laura and I were in Nashville, and we were at the ClickFunnels conference. And when we were there, we were just getting inspired, learning, growing, and learning more about like online business and everything else. And we were listening to all these amazing speakers. And there was this one speaker in particular. Her name was, oh my gosh, I know her last name, Stacy. Thank you. It's Stacy. Thank you to myself. Thank you, Stacy Martino. That was her name, Stacy Martino. And she was there speaking, and she was talking about this thing about finding your Oz. And she was talking about it from the perspective of like when you are building your business and what you need to achieve. But I want to talk to you about it from two different perspectives, from your client's perspective and from your perspective, because it really inspired me. Like the way that she was explaining it really inspired me to think about it. And it is something, it's a concept that we talk about a lot in our academy programs, but just I've never heard of it explained this way before. So I just really wanted to share this idea with you guys and then explain to you exactly how you can implement it today in your own business. So the whole thing that she was talking about is this idea of that everybody has their Oz. Okay, and so your Oz is kind of like, if you think about like the Wizard of Oz, that's what she was talking about. It's like, where do you want to go? So when you think about Dorothy, when she was walking down the yellow brick road, she was heading towards her Oz, okay? And Oz for her was like this magical, glorious place. And we all have that Oz, whether it's in our personal life or our business. So when we think about it from a business perspective, as this is our business podcast, we think, where do you want your business to go? Now, the thing is, though, is that oftentimes, and this is where a lot of people listening right now, you might be thinking, but I don't even know what my Oz is. I don't even know where I want to go. And that is mistake numero uno. Okay, that is your number one mistake, because if you don't even have an idea of where you want to go with your business, you're just like fingers crossed, hoping that you get some clients. That's a huge mistake, because then if you have nothing to work towards, you're just going to keep sort of rolling with the punches and flying by the seat of your pants, and you're not really having a plan in place. And without a plan in place, you're literally just going to keep spinning your wheels. You might get some clients, you might get some programs running, but you're not going to have sort of like a definitive place that you're headed, and also you won't have anything that you're like putting like goals in place or like going against. Like you won't be like looking at it being like, was this a success or was it not a success? I have no idea, because I don't really have any end goal of where I was going. So that is number one. If you are here listening right now and you don't even have an Oz, you don't even know where you want to take your business, whether it's your program that you've launched or whether it's your training clients or whether it's your whole entire business as an entirety, if you don't know where you want to take it, that's step number one. You got to figure that out. You got to like take a step back and be like, what do I really want? And while you're looking at that, I want you to also look at it from a perspective of, what do you want in your personal life and what do you want in your business? And do those two things match? This is a big thing, because sometimes what happens is people see themselves as like, in my personal life, I want to like have tons of freedom, and I want to be able to travel the world, and I want to be able to like work from anywhere, and I want to be able to do all these things. But then their business is not a reflection of that life that they crave, because their business, maybe they have a gym or a studio that they have to run and be there every single day because they're the person kind of like bootstrapping it and running the whole thing. And so then they're going to have a clash of like titans essentially, where like it's not going to match. And if it doesn't match, then you're going to end up with frustration. You're going to end up feeling resentful potentially towards your business. So you really got to figure that part out. What do you want for your personal life? What do you want for your business? Do they match? And once they match, what is that end goal that you're trying to reach with your business? It doesn't have to be like the be all end all, but where are you headed? That is your Oz. Okay. So then once you have that in place, then you need to go, okay, what are my steps to get to Oz? So you have to think, what are the little bricks along the road, along that yellow brick road? What are my bricks to get me to that Oz? And am I doing them correctly? Or am I trying to jump 10 bricks ahead and skipping over like big puddles or whatever, however you want to visualize it. But it's like, if you're not putting the building blocks in place to get to your Oz, you're never going to get there, or you're going to struggle significantly to get to that place. You're going to struggle in a big way to get to that end result. So those could be things like, do you have the right systems in place? Do you have the right coaching behind you? Because I truly believe that anyone in business, especially as entrepreneurs, we need to have coaches in one area or another, some sort of facet. Because if you think that you know how to do everything and you just are going by it and like, you're just like, well, you know, I've been doing it this way forever and it's working or whatever, like that's cool, but you'll never end up getting to where you want to go. I truly believe that, because sometimes as entrepreneurs, we get so caught up in like our day-to-day stuff, or we get so caught up in our own thoughts, our own heads of like where we want to go, that we're not seeing the big picture, or we're not seeing what the outside people are seeing, right? And so having a coach, having a mentor, having someone that you're working with that is going to help guide you along that path is also going to challenge you in different ways. It's going to ask you different questions. It's going to help you move forward. All right. So if you don't have someone in that place, you really need to look into that. Now, the other things that could be like bricks that you're trying to skip or trying to jump over or whatever, however you want to visualize it, could be things like, you know, I don't have the right foundations. I don't even have my business registered. I don't have certifications. I've had a lot of conversations. I talk to every single person who wants to sign up for our fitness and nutrition expert certification. I have one-on-one conversations with every single person personally. And there are a lot of people that are already teaching, but they're not certified. And guys, if you're doing that, you're putting yourself at risk and you're putting your clients at risk. And the whole idea of us getting into health and wellness industry is so that we can help people, right? We want to make impact in this world. And if you are doing that and you are doing it without the certifications to back your knowledge and to make you really confident, and also to just not only make you legit, but get you insurance and all those things, like you're putting yourself and your clients at risk. So please don't do that, okay? Just take the time to get the proper certifications in place so that you can 100% be qualified to be able to provide the results and to provide the experience that you are offering. Now, when you're thinking about your Oz, you also have to think about it from a perspective of your clients. So that is like your side, right? So when I'm thinking about it from a business perspective, your own personal perspective, again, it's like, number one, what is your Oz? What does that even look like to you? So you want to sit down and think about that if you haven't figured it out. And if you have it figured out and you're like, oh, it's just this one little thing that I'm going to do, like, can you think bigger picture? Can you think like in the grand scheme of things? Like when Laura and I started our business, which was over 10 years ago, we started it with our Fitchix Bootcamp classes, but we always knew that that wasn't our Oz. We always said that we were building an empire. We were building this fitness empire. And we use that word specifically because we always wanted to always think big picture. We didn't want to just limit ourselves to just this one thing that we were doing. We knew that the one thing we were doing was a building block towards our Oz, right? We just didn't know it was called Oz at the time. This was just like a really cool way of explaining it. I loved how Stacey did it, so that's why I'm sharing it with you guys. And, you know, the thing is that if you're taking these steps in place, you'll get to your Oz. But if you're sitting there thinking like, I'm already there, can you think bigger? And if you're cool with where you're at, then that's cool too. And I'm not telling you to change your strategy, but I'm telling you, if you want to go bigger, or if you want to have an end result that you feel like, you know, you've reached the place that you want to get to, like you've got to figure out the steps in between. So first, number one is figure out what your Oz is. What is that end result? And then step number two is, what are the building blocks that you need in place? Okay, so what are the steps that you are required to be able to get to your Oz? And don't skip them, because every single step is going to teach you a different thing. It's going to support a different part of your business, and it's going to help you reach that Oz that much faster, that much clearer. And it's also going to help you have a proper foundation for your business, so that you're not just like, you know, taping it all together, like little like sticks and tape and everything to get to that Oz. Like you don't want to have that kind of a road. You want to have a good solid foundation so that every single step is a clear step. And try not to think about, like, even though I want you to think about that Oz, I don't want you to be like jumping 10 steps ahead in your steps, being like, but I'm going to have to do this next. I'm going to have to do this. Just focus on the one thing that you're doing right now that is going to take you to the next step. What is the one thing that you are doing today in your business? And I want you guys to think about this and write it down, okay? That's my challenge for you. Sit down and write this down right now as I'm asking you this question. What is the one thing that you are currently doing in your business right now that is putting you one step closer to your end result that you desire? And if you don't have an answer to that question, if you're like, I have no idea, I'm just going with it and seeing what happens, or I'm just doing the same thing I do every single day and I don't really have that strategy, that's when you need to take a step back and you need to be like, okay, what is the plan to get me to that end result? And that's when you have to start looking at all the steps and break it down, like reverse engineer it and be like, okay, if I want to be here, if I want to be, you know, running an online education company, or I want to be running an online challenge, what are all the steps I need in place? Okay, well, I need to have a foundation. I need to have a brand. I need to have a registered business. I need to have certifications behind me. I need to have my tech support. I need to understand how to do this. I need to have lead generation. Like, you have to figure out all of those steps. And I'm not trying to overwhelm you guys, but you have to figure out those steps. And if you've only got like 5 out of the 20 steps, step back before you launch and figure out what are the other steps that you need to get you to Oz clearly, so that you're not just like throwing it out there and then it maybe doesn't work and then you're like, well, this isn't going to work, and then you quit. Because I don't want you to quit. I want you to go after your dreams, and I want you to go after what it is that your Oz is, but you have to have the right steps in place to do it so that you're not struggling. Okay, guys? All right. So then the second part of this is thinking about it from your client's perspective. So when you think about it from your client's perspective, they have that same dream, right? They have that same Oz, but theirs just might be different. So most of us that are listening right now are in the health and wellness sort of area, right? So when you're thinking about it from that perspective, you have to think, okay, well, what is their Oz? What are they, when you're trying to discover what their Oz is, what is the one thing that they are trying to achieve? Okay. And this also goes back to your business. So that's why I'm explaining this to you. So when you think about it from the prospect of their Oz, I'm going to give you an example. If they say you have, someone who is a new mom, okay? And their Oz is that they want to fit back into their pre-baby clothes and they want to heal their diastasis recti, okay? That's like the end result that they desire. They just want to feel good in their skin again, and they want to heal because they have some diastasis recti and they're struggling with that issue. They're not going to go from where they are today to that end goal overnight, right? So they're going to have to take all of these steps in between. They're going to want to go from where they are now to that end result overnight, but it's not going to happen. But so what you need to do as a business owner and as someone who is focusing on helping them reach their Oz, you have to ensure that you understand where they're at today and that you are giving them every single step towards their Oz, that you are providing the solutions that is in a step-by-step process to get them to their Oz. You're not trying to say, you're not going to give them any false advertising saying, join my program and in 6 weeks you're going to be here, because it's probably not accurate unless you can 100% like guarantee that you can actually provide that A to B transformation in that quick time, then go for it. But if you can't, make sure that you explain the steps along the way. Of course, what you're selling to them is the transformation, the end result, the Oz that they desire. But make sure that your program includes those steps. Just like how your business is going to include those stepping stones, those bricks to get to Oz, you want to have your program including those steps as well. Okay, that's not the sexy stuff. That's not the stuff that they're going to buy, because they're not going to be like, well, I don't really want like to buy, like no one's going to buy the work. No one's going to buy the effort that it takes to get there. What they're buying is the transformation, the guarantee, the result, the desire, which is the Oz. That's what people want. So when you're thinking about marketing and you're thinking about selling and you're thinking about talking to your ideal client, I want you to think, where are they now and what is their Oz? Okay, and I guarantee you guys, if you start thinking about this, and this is the message that you start putting out into the world as opposed to the stuff in between the bricks, if you sell them the bricks, they're not going to buy, okay, because that's work. That's effort to get to Oz. That's obviously going to be included in your program, but what you want to sell them is Oz. I hope that makes sense, guys. So again, thinking about it from their perspective, it's, okay, I'll use another example. if we look at it from a perspective of someone who they're working with clients with anxiety, okay? If they're working with a client with anxiety, so where the client is today, this is what you look at. This is where they are today, is that they are dealing with like debilitating anxiety. Like it's like crazy, overwhelming anxiety that is causing them a very difficult time in their life to even just do day-to-day tasks, okay? The Oz that they desire is to have no anxiety. It's really clear. It's really simple. That's what they want. They would just want to get rid of their anxiety. They would do anything in their power to get rid of that anxiety, because anxiety is an awful feeling and nobody wants that feeling, right? So they're here today is A, where they're dealing with this debilitating anxiety, and their Oz is they no longer are dealing with anxiety and they're living this happy, calm, sort of stress-free, anxious-free life, okay? You are not going to sell them the 8-week program of, and we're going to do this work, and we're going to do this mindset stuff, and we're going to do meditation techniques, and we're going to do affirmations, and that's a lot of stuff. And that will probably make them even feel more anxious, because they might be like, wow, that's really overwhelming to me. And depending on what their anxiety is being caused by, it might like overwhelm them. Versus if I was selling you a program that you were dealing with anxiety, and I said to you, buy my program, it's going to be 8 weeks of really intense meditation work, internal prospection work, journaling, this, that, you'd be like, whoa, that's a lot. But if I said to you, buy my program, and I guarantee you that you will live an anxious, stress-free life, you'd be like, that's what I want. I'm going to buy that over the work, right? So look at their Oz. What do they need? That's what you sell. That's what you focus on. There obviously has to be mention at some point on your sales page about like the details of the program, but that's not the main point of the program. That's not the main purpose of your sales page. That's not the main purpose of all of your messaging and your marketing and your efforts and your strategy. It's all about your Oz. Okay? So guys, I hope that helps you. When I want you now to sit back, and I want you to think about from your own perspective though, I want you to sit back and go, okay, where my clients are now, where do they want to go? That's your number one. And then number two, where am I at in my business, and where do I want to go? What is my Oz? What is it that I want truly for my personal life and my business life? What is my Oz? What is my desired end? And it doesn't have to be like your be all end all again, but it's your end to this current, okay? Like right now, what do you really want? Once you figure that out, then reverse engineer it and say, okay, but what steps do I need? And it's the same thing you're gonna do with your clients. You're gonna go, okay, they wanna live anxious free. What are the steps they need that are progressing them towards living anxious free? What is the first step? What is the second step? What is the third step? Or the bricks of the golden road, right? Think about it from that perspective, and you will be able to create a killer program. You'll be able to create amazing results for your clients, and you'll be able to create a business that is successful for you because you know where you're going. You know what you need to do to get there. All right. Stop guessing. Stop just like trying to like do everything and anything just to get clients. Stop scrambling. Like, doesn't that sound so good to know that you like won't have to be like scrambling and stressing and like, hustling for clients and things like that. Like if you just focus on what they want and what you want, and you make sure that those things align and that you figure out the steps to get there, I guarantee you guys that it's going to be work in the beginning, but it's going to alleviate so much work, effort, and stress in the end. All right. So sit back and think about those things. And again, if that thing is that you need to get certified, my shameless plug, make sure you check us out at fitchicksacademy.com. There is still time to join us for our fitness and nutrition expert certification. It starts today, like literally right now, our semester is starting. If you want to get in, if you're like, yes, I am not certified, or I need to get more certifications because the program I want to offer is going to include all of these other pieces that I don't have the knowledge or the confidence to be able to support my clients in that way, get certified. Stop waiting. Get to your Oz. Take the necessary steps to get to your Oz. Take action today to get to your Oz, because if not, you're going to keep just like cobbling together this like cobblestone street or whatever, trying to figure it all out. And you're going to keep hitting like potholes, however you want me to describe it, but you're going to keep running into roadblocks. You're not going to get to your Oz, and you're going to keep struggling in your business. So I want you guys to do whatever it takes and take the necessary steps and take action towards getting to your Oz today. Okay? All right. So I hope that helps you guys. I'd love to hear from you, of course. Email us info@fitchix.ca, or you can comment below this video or below the podcast and leave us a review. Let us know what you think and let me know what your odds is. I'd love to know what your end result is that you desire. All right? Okay, guys. So again, if you want to sign up, March 28th, which is today, we have Fitness and Nutrition Expert Certification Program starting tonight. There's still time to join us. Sign up at fitchixacademy.com. All right, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.